How's it going, guys, and welcome back to BL3's Forgotten, the series where I take a look at underused and not often talked about pieces of gear to determine whether or not they deserve to be remembered within the modern meta of the game or should be left behind and forgotten. And today we are taking a look at the Starkiller. If you'd like to get the Starkiller for yourself, you can get it by completing the 8th main story mission, Space Laser Tag. If you've already completed this mission, though, you can get another Starkiller from the Crazy Earl Veteran Rewards vending machine over on Sanctuary. The Starkiller is a purple-rarity Maliwan pistol, having completely locked parts, meaning that it is locked to incendiary, and it also cannot be anointed. The unique effect of the Starkiller is that after a brief charge-up period, it will begin firing a continuous fire damage laser beam. Now, being that this is a story mission reward, I absolutely adore getting the Starkiller during a playthrough. It feels great at the point in the story that you end up getting it, however, it does actually fall off a little bit quickly even at those lower levels. But until it does, it is a pretty nice pistol to just be given. And at endgame, this meant that I had pretty low expectations for it, given that it does fall off so quickly during a story playthrough. However, it was shockingly usable for being that pretty early game purple unanointable unique Maliwan pistol. Not only was it able to hold up on true Maliwan takedown, but it was actually able to even kill on true Guardian takedown with a pretty reasonable time to kill on it. This was genuinely a huge shock, and it kind of set my expectations maybe a little bit too high for how this pistol actually ended up being. Because when I put an anointment on it, it was weirdly disappointing for how good it felt for being an unanointed. Now granted, with how it blows through ammo, next to mags wasn't the best call for an anointment, but even while it was active, the gun was pretty fucking bad. The Starkiller is incredibly impressive for being an unanointed purple Maliwan laser pistol, but very disappointing for being an anointed gun, leaving it kind of at this weird middle ground where unanointed, it sucks because it's unanointed, but it's really good for being unanointed. But then if you give it an anointment, it just becomes completely disappointing. But even outside of damage, the Starkiller does still have some problems. The main one being, as I mentioned earlier, this thing chews through ammo, so you're going to be reloading a hell of a lot, but along with that, the recoil is horrifically neck-breaking, which makes ADSing an absolute nightmare with this gun. And what this ends up meaning is, holy fuck, is it not a Zane gun? It felt pretty okay on every other character, but with Zane, the high fire rate combined with the insane recoil just makes it an absolute nightmare to play on him. It empties mags so damn quick while shaking your camera hard enough to give you holes in your brain to rival that of a professional football player. The Starkiller is just straight up not a great gun, but honestly, I really can't help but to like it. Would I recommend it literally ever outside of a playthrough? Absolutely fucking not. But it looks really cool, has a pretty cool stint on it, and it is mildly impressive for what it is, so I suppose it gets a little bit of credit there. What that leaves the Starkiller as is a very good contender for a spot on your Sanctuary wall. That's gonna about do it for this one though. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, definitely consider leaving a like, comment, subscribe, all that. Down in the description will be a link to my Twitch channel where you can follow to be notified of when I go live, and just under that is a link to my Discord server where you can come and join and hang out. But with that all being said, I hope to see you guys in the next one.